Hey, Alexia. Thank you for that very, very aggressive intro.
It wasn't aggressive. It was just like, guys, you gotta do it. And that's it.
Yeah, well, you guys will hear that for at least a few more months. Anyway,
And very happily, we will do it.
very happily. Exactly. So, two things before we get started. First, happy Friday. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday and happy 4th of July, which was yesterday, and we totally forgot about it.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So, we are in Portugal. No one really celebrates 4th of July here. And
It would be the same thing as like celebrating the September 7th of Brazil. They don't care. We don't care.
yeah. 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 Anyway, maybe we will post the episode from last year that we were actually in the US.
It was my first 4th of July.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. And on top of that, we are working from a new co working space in Portugal. And essentially, we are in the basement and we are under a store
Yeah, we can see people walking up us,
above us.
above us.
Yes, it looks slightly dangerous. So we don't know how this recording is going to sound, but let's just roll with it.
Yeah?
Okay. So, Alexia, the last 4 days we have been listening to you read. Occasionally, I am jumping in to give you some feedback.
Can I ask you one thing? For the last 4 days, we've been listening, you reading, should be, not read, right?
Okay, first of all, a mistake that I actually corrected you, either with the worksheets or during the episode. Listening to you. We always listen to things in English. Listening to you read. That's the way I would say it. We could also say listening to you reading. Both are correct.
Okay.
Perhaps grammatically, reading would be more favored by grammarians, but I am not a grammarian. I am an English speaker that likes to teach English the way I like to teach English.
Okay.
Okay, so first, Alexia, first impressions. How did you feel reading that article, knowing that thousands of people were going to listen to it?
It was much better. Sorry, excuse me. It was much better than reading in front of actual people looking at me in church.
Of course.
And it was much better to read knowing that no one was looking at me besides you. And I didn't feel any pressure, any kind of pressure at all.
Yeah. So that's a good tip. Number one, if you want to practice your pronunciation and just your English in general, reading, that kind of thing, improve and expand your vocabulary, a very good way to do that is to record yourself reading or speaking out loud.
Yeah.
Because you're in your room by yourself, no one's there, it's easy. Yeah, you agree?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Question number 2. How did you feel listening to yourself?
I hate it. I do. It's a thing that I need to work it out with myself. And only me and myself and I, we can
Me, myself, and I.
and we can like deal with that. No one else can help me out with that. But I had to listen because of your feedback.
Yeah, so I know that you listened to the episode where I gave you feedback. Did you listen to the other 2?
Not the one from yesterday, but the one before yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I mean, to be honest, I think that I did a pretty good job comparing to like 1 year ago or 2 years ago. I think that I am much better nowadays.
Yeah, I would hope so, from 2 years ago.
And I feel more confident, even though I am pronouncing things not in a correct way. But confidence is everything when you're
Yeah.
speaking a foreign language. So
Absolutely. And I think that is a good advice for everyone to imitate Alexia's confidence. Because honestly, I thought you would be much more upset, especially with the last two audios. Just listening to you read, if someone only had that audio of you reading, I think they would imagine that your English is much less advanced than it actually is. But
But
you
at the
didn't feel
same
bad
time,
about that.
no, because I mean, we practiced before the first audio, the episode from Monday. I read
Yeah,
what?
I think that makes it worse for your
No,
case.
no, 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 no. So let me get to the point. I practiced the first audio, that's for sure. And the last three audios, three or two, I don't remember. I didn't practice. So I read it at first to the episodes.
Yeah, that was your first try.
Yes, so I don't feel that bad at all. I think that I did a pretty good job without practicing before.
Yeah, you should not feel bad. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm just trying to find the psychology of how to help other people approach language as gracefully as you.
Yes. Who won the world? Girls, girls, who won the world? Girls, girls, who won the world? Girls, girls.
Okay. The text itself, the text we were reading is, we actually did not finish it because it turned out to be very long for our podcast. It was called Why We Travel by Pico Iyer. What did you think about the text? Both in terms of content, like did you like it? And in terms of the level of English, was it too difficult for you or too easy to, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I liked it. I think he has a pretty interesting point of view about traveling. And I always like to read people talking about traveling because each one has a different opinion about it and how to deal with different cultures and things like that. So I think it was very important for me to read Pico
Iyer.
But the language of the text, it was a little bit challenging for me.
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of words that I never read. It's not that I never read. I never did what I was doing to this episode.
What I imagine happened was were a lot of words that you perhaps have seen in writing before, but you do not use in your everyday conversation, and you definitely have not tried to pronounce immediately just from reading.
And that's how we gain more vocabulary.
Yeah, I would just say learn more vocabulary. So a couple of things about the text. First, I don't know exactly what year this was written in, but it was like the early 90s.
Yeah, he talks a lot about Cuba and...
Yeah, so a lot of the text is a little outdated. He makes some references to Michael Jackson and Bill Clinton in the same sentence, which obviously those did not age well. And a lot of references to McDonald's taking over the world, but that is true. Pico, good job. You predicted the future. But I think if you rewrote that today, it would be a lot more around like social media and him talking shit about travel bloggers and stuff.
And talking about Mark Zuckerberg and things like that.
Talking about who?
Mark Zuckerberg.
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 Zuckerberg. If you say Zuckerberg on air, I guarantee you Facebook will find a way to kick us off.
But they already found a way of... Did you know that they took out for hours and hours Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp at the same time? 2 days ago. Yeah.
If we are trying to use less explicit language on Inglês no Rádio, but I want to say beep Zuckerberg.
Why?
Beep Zuckerberg. He has too much power.
Yes, he does. But so I think it was important to read this article and more because of the new words and new vocabulary and to learn as well. And people always asks us
Ask us.
ask us how to be better with vocabulary and things like that. And there you go. You just have to do that.
Yeah, reading is a great way to expand your vocabulary. Just a couple of final comments, Alexia. First, I would say, at least for the majority of our listeners, maybe begin with a text that is a little bit easier. And secondly, I think it is really worth it to spend a lot of time with a short piece of material. So if you are listening to this and you want to improve your vocabulary and pronunciation with reading something, I would not immediately start reading the entire Game of Thrones series. Just pick a short article that you like and really pay attention to it.
I have the perfect thing for them.
What is it?
Worksheets.
Okay, yes, we're going to get to worksheets later. We're still working on them.
Worksheets, guys, be ready because it's gonna be amazing.
Okay, cool. So any last words for people on the weekend?
Go watch Stranger Things.
Oh yeah, Stranger
And-
Things season 3 is out today.
Yeah, and enjoy yourselves and be safe.
Yes, enjoy yourselves with moderation, and we will talk to you guys on Monday.
Happy Friday!
Have a good weekend.